Okay.
Same problem I'm facing, like build fail.
Build failed. Okay, we'll see that. I think some changes might be there extra on your system. That's why the build might be failing. Uh, okay, so till now, what we have discussed is like, we have seen EIS. What is EIS? We have seen how to create customer, how to create a quote, and then basically how to convert it into a policy, how to issue that particular quote and it becomes a policy. And under quote, we have seen multiple things like how do um, we create this workspace, and under workspace how do we create multiple tabs, and under each tab we create components, and then under each component we have attributes, right? So we have seen everything. uh, w- till now what we actually have seen is the base components and the base attributes. We have not seen how to extend these components and attributes. I will What I'm saying is, like, if I go to data gather for this particular code, what we have seen is like all these components what we see in our workspace mostly are from base. Actually these are not mostly from base, but some of these are pfg specific also. But we have not seen like how to create a new component, correct? Neither we have seen that, if policy is already available to us from pre-configured product like the base, how do we add a new field? So suppose in the policy, what we had done is we had added a rate id field here. Okay, now that rate id was not available earlier, so we had to do extend this policy component to add that particular attribute. Okay, we will talk about this sometimes in future session. Before we do that, right, how do we extend that? We will have to understand one basic thing, that each component what you see here has a corresponding database table. And let me open my SQL Server Management Studio and show you like what I am saying. So we have seen that each component has an entity, right? Like a policy summary dot java. So this is an entity class. Okay. Policy summary. Okay, so entity class is like it holds your data. Okay, like whenever you are entering your data here, it holds your data, and that is a one-to-one mapping with your database. So all of this data what you see here, it actually goes and sit into a database table. So this one, let me see if we have pfg policy entity. So we have pfg policy entity. So this one will be more clear. So this is an entity. Okay, and this has one-to-one mapping with one of the uh, table in the database. So extends policy entity, extends policy entity, extends policy summary. So this one is the base class policy summary. Okay, so this is the entity class what we have. It's a big class. It has multiple fields actually. That is why it is big. Uh, what I want to show you is, let me see, my database is not open yet. So, yeah, let it open. Uh, have you guys used JPA earlier, like Java persistence APIs? So,
Yes.
so in any Spring application, Spring Boot application, so if you want to take all your data to the database, you generally use JPAs, and JPA makes your life very easy. You don't have to write, all these commands or the queries to update your database. It automatically takes care of putting everything in the database. If or mostly all the tables have one-to-one mapping. Like I'm going to give you an example of this particular table policy summary, and show you like how it looks in the database. So let me open my database, pfg soft. New query, PFG soft. So this is just any editor to connect to my database and write query. So in our case, we are using Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. And if I write this simple query, policy summary, to see policy summary is a table, and if I just execute it, it will give me the data under my table. So if you see, it has multiple fields here. And if I scroll to the right, if you'll see, there are multiple columns here. It's not a simple table, it's a very big table. So some of these fields were provided by base to us, but some of these fields were added by us into this table. Okay. And let me show you like how we have done it. And it is a very simple technique we have used. We have used liquibase to do it. Let me find out policy summary. This is summary in star.xml. Change log, event class, insert table name, event process, policy summary. Let's see if I can find something for you. Base table at foreign key constraint. Policy from policy summary, update billable policy term set and all that. Okay. This one to update policy summary, pin class policy, actual name. It's not null. Not this. So I had to find it in change log star change log star.xml. Add foreign key. Just want to give you an example, like how these things work. And I'm trying to find if we have added a new field in the table, how to do it. Before we can, I can show you like how do. Not able to find about this table. Let's see if I have some other example for you. Table. Insert table name. So they are creating a new table here. So this also is column name. Where this property name is this. Okay. Okay, so these are good examples. So I'm going to show you. Like, so suppose now my ask is, I'll give you a requirement. In the policy tab, I want to add a new particular field here, right, which is not existing in the base. If it was a new field, I could go to my admin and, if it is provided by base, I simply can go to the admin section where I can do that change. Like, I can include the existing field if it is not included before. Correct? This we have already understood. Correct?
Yes.
Now our job is to include a new field, and to include a new field, first thing what we will have is that database should have a field to store that value, isn't it? Like if we are including a new field in the UI, where would that value will be stored? Somewhere in the database, correct? Isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
So first thing is that our database should be updated, and we should create a new field in the corresponding table which we are talking about. In this case, our table is policy summary, and if we are adding a new field in the policy summary policy component, it should have a field here, right? Only then we will be able to do it, right? Let me see if was employer build BU correction payment applied. See, BU correction payment applied. I think this field BU correction payment BU correction payment applied. BU correction payment applied. Okay, it's not there. It's not part of any of the change log. I don't know why, because it's a new field added. We should have added it through the liquibase. Now, how do we update the database? So there is a technique called liquibase. Liquibase. Now, what is liquibase? No? So my ask is that, for multiple reasons in my application, and in this case, I was showing you that, when I am going to update these fields in my policy entity or any other component, right? I have to have field added in the database. Or it could be that I am creating a new component from scratch and there is no table existing for that storing that particular data in the database. So I have to have a table in the system, right? All the changes regarding the database, structural changes I'm talking about. How do you do that? So you do that through Liquibase. Liquibase is an open source database independent library for tracking, managing, and applying database schema changes. See if you can relate to it. Now we are talking about applying database schema changes. Now we are talking about adding or inserting a new table in the database, or inserting a new field in the existing database field. Right? Liquibase makes our life very easy in the sense they provide us simple configurations, and these simple configurations look like this. So we just write this change set and we tell system like what needs to be done. So we can, instead of writing the query, right, we can tell it in the XML format. This is the power of a technology, like the things what you used to do earlier and write big queries. Instead of that, you can write small configuration, and your technology will pick up that configuration and will do the job for you. So in this case, we want to create a table name as authority, and these are the column names: d type, and name, and owner, and description, and these are the uh, values. I think insert table name, column name, d type, this. Uh, Insert table name. This actually they're not creating a table; they are inserting into the table name. What is the query to create a table? Uh, do you guys
Create table name.
create table? Yeah,
Yeah.
let's see that this one create table and the change log pb create table for this column name this. See here. Now, how simple they have done, like they have written this change set, and this precondition is like, what is the precondition that it should satisfy before it executes this uh, uh, change set. Okay. Now, inside that change set, what simply you have written the configuration that create table. Table name is this, and here you are defining that for each column. See, this is a very small change set like this. So instead of creating the table name through your query, you can simply come here and you can write this create table. Table name is this. It's going to create PFGB label labs notice table, and it's going to have these many columns. Okay, and for each column, you can define the type of this column, like the type of data what it will be holding, right? Similarly, for policy name, it's going to be a varchar. Term effective date, it's going to be date time, correct? Cancellation date is also going to be date time. Yeah, create table. And if you want to add any unique constraint, so whatever you used to do through the query, you are able to do it through the change set. Now you will see that the first direct benefit is that you don't have to write big queries to do things. You can do the same thing through a configuration. Now this is an XML you are writing. Instead of writing the query, Liquibase will read it and do the job for you. This is the primary benefit. The second benefit is that whatever changes you are doing, your code is moving from environment to environment. Like once you make this change, it goes to your dev environment where the developers do their testing, and then it moves on to the higher environment. Higher environment in the sense it moves to QA environment where QA do the testing. And when this script, when you have made it part of your code, when your code moves to that environment, it will automatically take care of creating that table for you. You don't have to go ahead and update the database to write the query and insert the table manually. As and when this code moves, so when this code is deployed to production, it will also take care of creating this table in the production environment. So you don't have to worry about making these changes manually. As and when your code moves to any environment, your table will be created automatically using this change set. Okay, very simple thing. Are you guys with me on this?
Yes.
Yes, this is one example. The earlier example I was giving you was if you want to insert some data in the table. Like in this case, they are using this particular table, and in that they are inserting some data. Like author is this one for this particular field. This is the value, and this is the value, and then simple thing like they are doing a simple insert in the table, and this is the data you are providing for each field. Like author will be this, description will be this, property name will be this, value will be 10. So it will create a record like it will create one record like this. uh, like this is one record, like one row is one record. Okay, so it will add another row in the table with this particular data. Okay, I can actually go ahead and show you this. This is a small table, and it just includes that where author is CQI. Let me do this, where author is equal to CQI. Let's see if it is there. Okay, so this is the one we are including. Set default cancel policy reason code. So this one, and then we have value as 10. So this is that record we are talking about, that it is in inserted by this particular query in the database. So if it goes to the dev environment, it will create an entry in the database. It goes to QA environment, it also creates the entry in this database table. It goes to production, it also creates the entry for this particular table. Very simple, right? Similarly, if you want to uh, insert a new column in a table, you can do that through the liquibase. Okay, so I will let you do some reading. You go ahead and read about how liquibase works. It's very simple. It is there to make your life easier. Instead of you writing big queries, now you can just write simple configuration here, and your job will be done. And if you remember, this see our build when it runs. This is the thing I wanted to tell you, Pankaj here as well, Pankaj and Karthik. See, when our build does, first thing it does is it creates the war file for us, which is a web archive file, which will be deployed to the Tomcat servers later on. The first thing build does is uh, it builds our application. It builds the war file for our application, and let me actually quickly show you if I have that. But my application is currently in building application pfg app. So it's currently there is no target folder here. Once my application builds, it will create a target folder here, and under that target folder it will have that war file created for me.
Powerful.
Correct. So that is the one thing it does, and then the second thing it does is it runs your liquibase. It checks, if you have any changes in your liquibase. If you do, then it will take care of making that sure that your database schema is updated by running that change set. Okay. And then the last thing it does, it deploys your application into the Tomcat environment. So this, when we run cm.cmd space all, right, this command does multiple things in the background. Building is one part. After build, it runs liquibase, then it deploys your application into the Tomcat environment. Also, it does a few more things. We will talk about that later, but just wanted to know, like, let you know that, since we are discussing about liquibase, and you might have seen the liquibase here, like the error sometimes. you know that liquibase is because it is trying to run liquibase to update your database schema. If there is any change you have written, It wants to make sure that your database is updated. Got it? So any questions, or is it clear little bit? You got the idea, like, how liquibase works, and then I will show you, like, one simpler case of how liquibase could be used to create lookups for us. Now let me show you what I'm talking about. Now suppose you have this policy type, right? You have a drop down. Now, how do we achieve that? We have DI and DIRS, and suppose tomorrow I want to make any changes, and I want to include one more value here in the drop down. How do I do that? Because this is a structural change, right? In the sense, like, these values are coming from somewhere, right? DI, DIRS. Similarly, for single
Yes.
life, hybrid, individual, multi-life, these values are coming from here. One thing is that we can hard code it in the HTML, and it can be displayed here, right? But once if we do that, the one disadvantage will be that, wherever you are using single multi-life drop down, you'll have to copy that again and create this drop down again, right? EIS, what they did, they found out a very simple solution for this problem. What they did, these drop downs, they defined it as lookup. Okay, now we are talking about two things here. Let me put it for you. First thing we did is liquibase. It is a technology to update your database schema, correct? A database schema, correct? Now lookup. Lookup is how EIS manages your drop down values, drop down values, and we will later see that, how this lookup it started with this idea of, how we can show it in the drop down, and then how it evolved, how it could be how it evolved to provide us many other solutions in the system. Okay, now I'm going to give you a simple example of lookup. If you go to admin, okay, under admin you will see that you have general tabs, like, same place where you have product tab. First tab is general, and here you have DB lookups, database lookups, and I'm going to check here single, and let it will search all the lookup list with the which has single in their name. Okay, single multi-life code. So this is our single or multi-life code, uh, and this is the lookup we are using. So if I click on it, you will see that it has multiple values: EML, hybrid, multi, and single. Okay, uh, but if you go back and see the values, it has single, hybrid, individual with multi-life. It has three values: single, hybrid, individual with multi-life. It has this one: single life, individual with multi-life. It has hybrid. It doesn't have this one, employer multi-life. Correct? It only has single life. Let me show you again. See, it has single life, hybrid, individual with multi-life. Three values. Correct? It doesn't have the fourth value, which is employer multi-life. This is another advantage of using a lookup, that, at runtime you can decide what values you want to display. Okay, depending on certain condition, you only want to display these particular values. You can do so in a lookup, but in HTML, if you hard code it, there is no dynamic way to show your drop down, right? It will always be whatever you want, like fixed values. But here you are dynamically able to show your lookup. Why? Because you are using the lookups here, not the hard coded values, and this lookup could be manipulated at runtime. Okay, this is a simple example. Okay, simple example of a lookup, how it looks. Is it making sense to you guys?
Yes.
Okay, Let me show you in your code how to do that, and it's very simple. There are two tables. They are using it to do all these things. Single star dot csv. This is your CSV file. Single multi life code underscore lookup look dot data dot csv. Is it making sense to you now, Karthik? Like, I know you are working with these closely. How
Yes,
these
yes.
values come up, right? And what is this CSV file? Now, if you see this CSV file, it holds my data. Like, what is the drop down values I'm going to have for my drop down. And this is this file, like what I was showing you in the UI. This is same value. Okay, of course it has multiple other fields. Don't worry about this. These other fields could work as our filter. Okay, you can add something
Okay.
like a product column here, and only for that particular product it will be visible. For other products it will not be visible. So the same lookup could be utilized by multiple products. Right now we only have disability product. That is another advantage of lookups. Lookups has actually multiple advantages. You know, a very simple idea, it evolved to give us multiple benefits. Okay, and it is heavily used in AIS. Very simple concept. This started with the idea that a drop down can be created using a lookup, and it evolved further. You can have multiple settings defined for that lookup, and you can play around with that lookup to do multiple things. Okay. Now, how this CSV is used? What is the why I'm telling you about liquibase and the lookups together? Is that if I show you an example, file name lookup. See here, this is a lookup. We have created a liquibase script here to create lookups. Okay. In that file, what we are doing is we are giving a CSV file name, and we are saying that uh, do ahead and according to this lookup class, upload this data in the database. So liquibase takes care of taking the data from this file, CSV file. It's a comma separated values, right? CSV, where code and value is separated, single comma single life. No, this is a very simple file, CSV file. Our liquibase takes this file as an input, and by applying this particular lookup, this is a class, and it defines all these fields what we were seeing it in the UI also. So by applying this particular lookup, it creates your lookup. So if you see here, order number value in, so this is coming from this particular lookup class, because we are applying this particular lookup class. There are multiple lookup classes you can have in the system, like for this particular CSV, they are using PFG rating regions lookup. So they have actually extended PFG code value lookup, and which is extending code value lookup only. Okay, so they are adding a few extra fields in that. Okay, but the idea here is very simple, that you can combine lookup plus liquibase, and to create this drop down very effectively, and within no time you'll have your lookup ready. And then once your lookup is ready, what you can do is, like, I am going to show you, like, when I was talking about attributes properties, I had told that a lookup I will mention some other time. Now this is the time that I can go ahead and show you, like, how this lookup could be put to a particular field. Okay, any questions till now? Am I confusing you guys? Is it a lot of information for you to consume, or are we following up?
It's very nice vision. Uh,
Okay.
We are getting a lot of information.
Okay. So I'll just give you one more information, and then we will wrap up for today. Okay. Uh,
Yeah.
okay. So I have copied this lookup name, single or multi. I'm just going to go to the product and show you, like, how this lookup is applied. to the field. Now, since now this lookup is just created in a system, we have not applied it anywhere. Correct? How do we apply it is we go to the product. I'm not going to unlock the product. I'm just going to show you. I'm in the disability income product. If I go to my component and single or multi-life question. See here, this is under policy. Okay. If you remember, this is under policy. We have this attribute single or multi-life question. Correct. So if I see these single or multi-life questions, if you scroll down here, you will have the lookup. Okay. Uh, and here you can actually do configure a lookup name, or if you want, see simply if you want to have a lookup name, you just select this option and put that lookup name here, like this lookup name what we have created earlier. Single or multi-life question. You just go ahead and put it here. If you want to manipulate that lookup, like depending on something you want to do something on that lookup, then you will have to do this particular like you can go through a method and do something on top of it. Now this becomes a complex example for you. Let me show you this one, policy type. This is policy type field. Let me show you policy type. Policy type. Let's hope that that will be a simpler one. Policy type. Okay, so this one is simpler one. Okay, so it's doesn't give value range expression. It says that simply lookup name. Policy type code is my lookup that you will have to apply to this particular field. And once I apply a lookup, your field becomes a drop down and all the values in your lookup will be displayed. Otherwise, this field will be like a normal field, like this field. FOC name is right. So if I apply a lookup on top of FOC name, right, it also becomes a drop down. So now that will be a task to you. So FOC name, apply a lookup and see, like, you can apply policy type code lookup only. One lookup could be reused. So you don't have to create a new lookup for now. Just try to understand what is a lookup first. Okay. Take this as an example, policy type code, and apply it to this FOC name. Same way. But you will have to go to that particular attribute, right? I'm right now in policy type. Go to lookup name and just type policy type code here, and then you save your product, and you will see that under FOC name also it will be a drop down. Then it won't be a text field anymore. Got it? It's very simple. That how do this field becomes a drop down. Very very simple. Just apply a lookup. The only thing is that you will have to know how to create a lookup. And how to create a lookup is, let me just repeat that. You put every data in your in a CSV file, which is a comma separated values file. CSV is nothing but a comma separated values. So you are putting code value, something like like this. So I'm creating a new EAS learners. I'm creating a new uh, lookup, right? This group we have EAS learners, correct? Under that EAS learners, what we have is name, and I'll say Pankaj, uh, or I'll say Dev 1, Pankaj, like a developer 1, Dev 2, Uday, Dev 3, uh, Uday G, right? Dev 4, Karthik, Dev 5, Vijay, right? So this becomes my lookup. Okay, just I put this data in a CSV file like this. Actually, you don't see comma because I have applied some uh, what do you say, like a filter here, or a plugin, which actually is not showing that comma. It is hiding that comma value, but it's a CSV file. Okay, if you open it in any other editor, you will see it like this, like the way I am showing you. Okay, like this. This is the data, and we are going to take this data and going to create AS learners lookup. So we simply put it here, and then we go to policy lookups metadata, you know, and create a record here. Okay, I want to create a new lookup. What is the lookup name? It is uh, my data is in EIS learners dot data dot csv, and then code value lookup I am going to provide. So it is going to create a lookup with this name, EIS learners underscore lookup dot data. Okay, and now it's going to create a lookup with EIS learners. Now this EIS learner could be used anywhere. Now once this lookup is created, I can apply it to any field in my UI, like we have done for policy type, we have done for single or multi life. Okay, so your job today is, Pankaj, you create this FOC name, apply this any existing lookup here. Okay. Uh, okay, now how do we find the lookups in the UI? I have told you. You have to go to the this tab, the first tab, general. Under the general, you will have your lookup. All the lookups you can find it here under general, like policy type. If I search policy type, it will show policy type code. This is the one which we have to use. And if you have to use single or multi, just search with single and it will show. Like simple, we also do requirement. Like Karthik, you can relate to it. For requirement also, we have these lookups defined. Okay, outstanding requirement, delivery requirement, medical requirement. Okay. Very simple thing, but it makes our life very easy. When we are working in EIS, we will be asked to create these lookups, and these lookups, as I told, this is only the one of the benefit that we can show it in the drop down. There are multiple other benefits, like you can pick these values at runtime. Like for this single or multi life, we are doing it at runtime, right? And we were able to see it. It was applied some. Value range expression, and that is why we are going to get different values each time. Okay, any questions before we stop today's session?
No.
Liquibase, probably I need to give you more idea, but I think you guys kind of know now, right? What is a liquibase? Liquibase is just if you want to make any structural changes in your database, and this database, like what we are talking about here, this also gets stored into database only. So this lookup data, what we are asking liquibase to consume it from the csv file, actually it goes and sits in the database. Okay, and you can apply it to any particular field, and it will come from the database. Like when we try to create this policy tab and apply this particular field, it is this data is coming from the database. Okay, so this is about liquibase and lookups. I have just given you a rough idea, but I want you to try it out, and you'll be able to learn more things if you try it with your hands instead of just listening to me. I think if you practice it, you'll learn more. Okay. Any questions, guys, before we wrap up?